Welcome back, coin lovers. Sparkles. Today, we're going to explore some of the most valuable coins in U.S. history. The top 4 Jefferson nickels and wheat pennies that have become true treasures in the world of coin collecting. Both the Jefferson nickel and the Lincoln wheat penny are American classics. While billions were minted, only a few stand out because of their rare minting errors, silver and copper compositions, unusual shades, and even coins found in dirty or circulated conditions that still carry high value. From the wartime silver Jefferson nickels to the famous 1909 SVB wheat penny and other key rarities, these coins have become major players in both the collector and investor markets. Money bag. These are not just pieces of American history. They're also some of the most valuable coins that collectors are hunting today. Backhand index pointing right, so if you're a coin enthusiast or someone who appreciates the beauty and significance of U.S. currency, this video is for you. Let's get started with number 1 on our list. The 1942 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark is one of those coins that, at first glance, appears entirely ordinary yet carries an aura of mystery and history that makes it unforgettable. Struck at the Philadelphia Mint during the heart of World War II, this coin holds more than copper in its surface. It holds a story of a nation under pressure, a people bound together in sacrifice, and a minting process that was on the verge of transformation. Though it is officially a copper coin, whispers and legends around rare variations and off-metal errors have made it a figure of fascination, a piece that collectors dream of discovering, for it represents not just currency, but destiny itself. The early 1940s were years of great tension. America had entered the war in 1941, and by 1942, the entire nation's industry was focused on the effort to win. Copper, the very metal used to strike pennies, was suddenly declared essential for ammunition and weaponry. For this reason, the U.S. Mint began exploring alternatives for coinage. Though most 1942 pennies were still made of copper, the shifting priorities of the mint meant experiments and transitions were underway, meaning the possibility of rare errors or unusual compositions slipped into circulation. Such coins, if discovered today, could fetch unimaginable sums in the millions, enough to change the life of any fortunate finder. The design of the 1942 wheat penny itself adds to its appeal. Victor David Brenner's famous portrait of Abraham Lincoln graces the obverse, symbolizing strength and unity during a time of national struggle. On the reverse, the simple yet bold wheat ears frame the words 1 cent and United States of America, representing prosperity and growth. This was not just a coin to be spent. It was a small piece of patriotic symbolism that reminded citizens of the values for which they fought. To hold such a coin today is to hold a piece of wartime America, a reminder of resilience and endurance. While the majority of 1942 no-mint mark wheat pennies were struck in standard copper alloy, collectors have long speculated about the existence of rare transitional pieces, coins struck on planchets intended for foreign coinage or experimental metals. These unusual survivors, if they escaped the mint, would be virtually priceless today. Just as the famous 1943 copper cent became a $1 million rarity, a silver, brass, or other off-metal 1942 penny would command similar wealth. This is why each 1942 penny must be examined with care, for you never know when the ordinary may reveal itself as extraordinary. The Philadelphia Mint, which produced a 1942 no-mint mark penny, was at the center of this numismatic drama. As the oldest and largest U.S. mint facility, Philadelphia bore the responsibility of creating billions of coins to keep America's economy moving, even in wartime. With presses running day and night, it is not unthinkable that a handful of experimental or misstruck coins might have passed undetected into circulation. These rare anomalies are now the treasures that drive collectors wild, their value reaching into the millions at auction houses across the world. What makes this coin so powerful is not just its monetary worth, but the story it carries. Each 1942 wheat penny passed through the hands of soldiers' families, factory workers, and children saving for war bonds. It jingled in pockets during blackouts, bought ration goods, and helped fund a war effort that changed the course of history. When you hold one today, you don't just see copper. You feel the spirit of an era, the courage of a generation, and the hope that even the smallest coin could contribute to victory. For collectors, the 1942 penny symbolizes possibility. It reminds us that within everyday objects lies a potential for greatness. This is why hobbyists still pore over old jars of pennies, searching for that one coin that could unlock a fortune. The thrill lies not only in the hunt, but in the knowledge that American history has left behind these tiny, metallic miracles. To find a rare variation of the 1942 no-mint mark penny would not simply be a financial windfall. It would be like discovering buried treasure from a bygone age. The copper of the 1942 penny also carries symbolism. Copper has always been seen as a metal of endurance and energy, qualities America needed during the darkest years of war. It conducted not only electricity but hope, and its warm red glow set these coins apart. A collector who stumbles upon a rare or unusual 1942 penny holds not just metal but meaning, a token of sacrifice and survival that transcends its small denomination. The fascination with this coin also lies in its accessibility. Unlike gold or silver coins, which were scarce and often hoarded, the penny was a coin for the people. It was affordable, familiar, and ever-present in daily life. That makes its rare variations even more appealing. Hidden in the most common coin is the possibility of the rarest prize. It is this paradox that drives collectors. The humble coin of everyday commerce may in fact hold the key to unimaginable riches. Stories abound of ordinary people discovering rarities in old coffee cans, desk drawers, or change jars. A 1942 no-mint mark penny with the right variation could turn such a discovery into a life-altering event. Auction houses would erupt in bidding wars. Millionaires would compete fiercely to own the prize, and the humble finder would suddenly be elevated to the ranks of the wealthy. This is why the 1942 wheat penny is often described as a coin with the power to change fortunes overnight. But beyond wealth, the 1942 penny is about legacy. It connects us to the past, to Lincoln's vision of unity, and to the sacrifices of the wartime generation. Its copper surface, worn yet enduring, whispers the story of America's resilience, and its potential as a rarity reminds us that life's greatest treasures are often hidden in plain sight. To dismiss such a coin as ordinary is to overlook the extraordinary possibilities it contains. In the end, the 1942 no-mint mark wheat penny is more than a collectible. It is a symbol of history, hope, and hidden wealth. It carries with it the possibility of transforming lives, not only because of its financial worth, but because of the lessons it embodies. That small things can carry great power, that history is alive in our hands, and that fortune often comes when we least expect it. If you hold one, examine it with care, for it may be the very coin destined to rewrite your story and lift your fortune overnight. Next up, the 1957 D wheat penny is a coin that, on the surface, looks like one of the countless billions of copper cents minted in the mid-20th century. Yet within its history, its composition, and the mystique surrounding certain variations, lies the potential for a coin that could transform an ordinary collector into a millionaire, or even a billionaire, overnight. To hold such a coin is to hold more than copper. It is to grip a story, a piece of American legacy, and a key to unimaginable fortune that rests quietly in the palm of your hand. The year 1957 was an important one in American history. It was a time of prosperity. As the post-war boom had reshaped the nation, families were thriving, and the country was looking toward the promise of the space age. In Denver, where the D mint mark identifies the origin of this coin, the mint was running at full force to meet the needs of a rapidly growing economy. Billions of wheat pennies were produced, but hidden among them could be special pieces, errors, variations, and extraordinary strikes that defy the norm and today command staggering sums. The wheat penny itself had already become a beloved icon by 1957. Designed by Victor David Brenner in 1909, its obverse carries a dignified portrait of Abraham Lincoln, the nation's most revered president. The reverse, with its two wheat stalks framing the words 1 cent, symbolizes growth, abundance, and prosperity. By 1957, this design was nearing the end of its era, for in 1959, it would be replaced by the Lincoln Memorial reverse. That means in 1957, D represents one of the final chapters of the wheat penny legacy, adding historical weight to its appeal. While most 1957 D wheat pennies were struck from standard copper alloy, the fascination lies in the possibility of rare off-metal strikes, double dies, or minting errors that slipped unnoticed into circulation. Imagine a penny struck on a silver planchet, or one bearing a doubled image of Lincoln's portrait. Such coins, if verified, could bring millions at auction. Their rarity is what transforms an everyday coin into a life-changing treasure, a fortune hidden within what looks like pocket change. The Denver Mint, where this coin was born, was known for both its efficiency and occasional quirks. With presses striking relentlessly to meet demand, even the smallest mistake, whether a misaligned die, a clipped planchet, or an unusual alloy, could result in a numismatic miracle. These miracles were not recognized in their time. They circulated in the hands of school children, factory workers, and storekeepers, only to be rediscovered decades later by collectors with sharp eyes. This is why the 1957 D continues to captivate. It represents possibility, the idea that wealth can be hidden in plain sight. Beyond the financial allure, the coin's copper surface tells a story of America itself. Copper, the people's metal, was abundant, durable, and accessible. Unlike silver or gold, it was a coinage of everyday life, used to buy newspapers, candy, and bus fare. To think that such a humble coin could now fetch millions is part of its magic. It reflects the American dream, that from the simplest and most common beginnings can emerge the greatest of fortunes. Collectors prize the 1957 D not only for its potential errors, but also for its place in numismatic history. Being one of the last wheat pennies before the switch to the memorial design, it carries an air of finality, a closing chapter to nearly 50 years of tradition. This sense of transition makes it more than just a collectible. It is a bridge between eras, connecting the simple agrarian symbol of wheat to the bold, modern monument of Lincoln's memorial. Such symbolism adds depth and meaning to its value. Legends often swirl around coins like this, with stories of families discovering a rare variation in a jar of pennies passed down from grandparents. Auction houses have witnessed such humble discoveries transform into 6- and 7-figure sales. Now imagine if one of those rarest 1957 D pieces surfaced with extraordinary features. Its price could soar into millions, forever changing the destiny of its owner. This is why experts say, don't spend it low. This coin holds the power to rewrite your fortune overnight. The sheer volume of 1957 D wheat pennies also adds to its mystery. With so many minted, the chances of rare variations increase, yet they are so elusive that their discovery feels almost mythical. This duality, common yet potentially priceless, is what makes the 1957 D a thrilling pursuit for collectors. It challenges the eye, the patience, and the persistence of those who seek it, rewarding only the most diligent with unimaginable fortune. What elevates the coin further is its human connection. Every 1957 D wheat penny has passed through lives and moments, to the hands of children saving for a dream, through workers toiling in America's industries, through soldiers returning home from service. To hold one today is to hold a thread in the vast fabric of American history, linking the present with a living memory of the past. When you realize such a coin could also hold a hidden error or rarity, its value transcends money. It becomes priceless in every sense. Even in worn condition, the 1957 D wheat penny carries charm. But in uncirculated or mint state condition, it shines like a relic preserved in time. Collectors often pay large sums for these pristine examples, but when combined with an error or rare strike, the value multiplies beyond imagination. It is this possibility that has inspired treasure hunters for decades, urging them to look more closely at their change, knowing that one coin could be the key to unshakable wealth. In the end, the 1957 D wheat penny is more than copper, more than a cent, more than history. It is a symbol of opportunity. It reminds us that fortunes may rest in the humblest of places, waiting to be discovered. Its story is one of resilience, transition, and promise, and its potential to transform a life overnight gives it legendary status. If you ever hold one, do not dismiss it as ordinary. Within its small frame may lie the power to change your destiny forever. Next up, the 1943 P. Jefferson nickel is one of those rare treasures in American numismatics that blurs the line between everyday currency and priceless historical artifact. At first glance, it may appear to be a simple 5-cent piece, something that once clinked in the pockets of ordinary citizens. But beneath its modest surface lies a story of innovation, sacrifice, and extraordinary value, so much so that a single example in perfect condition, or a rare minting error, could transform its owner's life overnight. This is not just a coin. It is a symbol of America's resilience during World War II and a potential key to unimaginable fortune. The year 1943 was no ordinary year. The United States was fully immersed in the throes of World War II, fighting battles across two oceans while mobilizing the entire nation on the home front. Every resource mattered. Every drop of fuel, every scrap of rubber, and every ounce of metal. Nickel, the key metal traditionally used in 5-cent coins, was suddenly too precious to waste on currency. It was urgently needed for armor plating, weaponry, and military machinery. And so, the U.S. Mint made an unprecedented decision. Jefferson nickels would temporarily be struck not from the standard alloy, but from a blend of copper, silver, and manganese. This special composition gave birth to what collectors now call the wartime silver nickels. Unlike any other period in American coinage, these nickels carried within them the literal metal of sacrifice. They were both currency and contribution, circulating in daily commerce, while quietly helping redirect nickel supplies to the factories that armed America's troops. The 1943 P nickel is a crown jewel of this era, a coin that doesn't just represent value, it represents history. One of the most notable features of the 1943 P nickel is its bold mint mark. For the very first time in U.S. history, the letter P, signifying the Philadelphia Mint, appeared prominently above Monticello on the coin's reverse. It was a departure from tradition and a subtle yet powerful statement. This large mint mark not only allowed the government to easily distinguish the silver wartime issues from the regular nickels, but also became a historic first, something collectors today prize as a landmark in minting history. The obverse of the coin still bore the dignified profile of Thomas Jefferson, the nation's third president, staring with determination into the future. Yet in 1943, his image carried a deeper resonance. As Americans fought for freedom abroad, Jefferson's ideals of liberty, democracy, and resilience seemed etched not only into the annals of history, but also into the coins people exchanged daily. Every Jefferson nickel struck that year was a reminder of what was at stake and what was being defended. But beyond its historical significance, the 1943 P nickel holds staggering potential for modern collectors. While millions were minted, very few have survived in pristine, uncirculated condition. Even fewer exist with rare minting errors, such as double dies, overstrikes, or striking anomalies that transform an already valuable coin into a priceless treasure. Some of these variations have been known to fetch astonishing sums at auction, with rumors of examples valued in the millions. Imagine owning such a coin. It would be like holding a golden ticket, capable of rewriting your fortunes overnight. The beauty of the 1943 P nickel lies in its dual identity. On one hand, it is a piece of everyday Americana, a coin that once passed through grocery stores, gas stations, and cafes during wartime. On the other, it is a hidden relic, a potential masterpiece of rarity, waiting to be uncovered in a forgotten box of change or family heirloom collection. That possibility, that one could stumble upon this coin by chance and suddenly find themselves holding a life-changing treasure, is what fuels its legend. Adding to its mystique is its shimmering silver appearance. Unlike the duller tones of regular nickels, the wartime silver nickels possess a unique luster that makes them instantly recognizable to the trained eye. Collectors often describe a 1943 P as having a glow all its own, a soft brilliance that seems to radiate both its metallic composition and its historic importance. In high grades, the coin sparkles like a beacon, elevating it from mere currency to artwork. Over the decades, the 1943 P nickel has become a cornerstone for serious collectors, a must-have piece for anyone building a collection of Jefferson nickels or wartime coinage. Its blend of accessibility and rarity makes it irresistible. While many people may own a circulated example, only a select few can claim to possess one of the rarest and most valuable versions in existence. It is this divide, the ordinary and the extraordinary, that makes the chase so thrilling. What makes the story even more compelling is its direct link to America's greatest generation. These coins were carried by soldiers' families, shopkeepers, and children collecting change for war bonds. They are not just money, but artifact of a nation united in purpose. To hold one today is to hold a fragment of that spirit, a reminder of resilience, sacrifice, and indomitable will to overcome. And yet, for all its history, the 1943 P nickel continues to surprise. Auction records show prices climbing higher and higher as collectors and investors alike recognize the scarcity and significance of pristine examples. What was once a 5-cent piece can now command sums that would have seemed impossible in its time. This is the magic of numismatics. The transformation of the ordinary into the extraordinary, of pocket change into priceless treasure. Ultimately, the 1943 P. Silver Jefferson nickel is far more than a coin. It is a living story pressed in metal, a wartime relic, and a dream of unimaginable fortune. For those lucky enough to find one in their possession, it offers more than just value. It offers the power to change destiny. If you ever come across this coin, never underestimate it. Guard it, treasure it, for within its small frame lies the potential to turn history into wealth and the promise of fortune that could alter your life forever. Next up, the 1944 P. Jefferson nickel is one of the shining stars of American wartime coinage, a piece that carries with it not only monetary value, but also the weight of history, sacrifice, and survival. At its core, it is just a 5-cent coin, yet in reality it represents something much greater, a relic of World War II, a symbol of American ingenuity, and a hidden treasure capable of changing fortunes overnight. For those who understand its story, the 1944 P. nickel is not merely a collectible. It is a vessel of untold value and a potential golden key to unimaginable wealth. The year 1944 was one of the most crucial years in modern history. Across Europe and the Pacific, the United States and its allies were locked in decisive battles that would determine the fate of nations. Every resource mattered, and the U.S. men had already begun conserving nickel, a metal essential for war production. The solution was radical and innovative. Instead of using a normal nickel-copper alloy, the men produced nickels from a mixture of copper, silver, and manganese. This shift ensured that nickel could be reserved for armor plating, weapons, and machinery, while still allowing the people at home to continue exchanging currency. The 1944 P. nickel was part of this effort, carrying within it not just silver but also the very spirit of sacrifice. The coin's design remained faithful to the original Jefferson nickel, with Felix Schlagg's portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and Monticello on the reverse. Yet in 1944, even this familiar imagery took on deeper meaning. Jefferson, with his vision of democracy and liberty, stood as a reminder of the ideals for which millions were fighting overseas. Monticello, Jefferson's Virginia home, symbolized not only architectural beauty, but also the endurance of America's cultural heritage in the face of global turmoil. One of the most important features of the 1944 P. nickel is its mint mark. For the first time in history, the Philadelphia Mint used a prominent P to mark its coins. This bold letter, placed above Monticello on the reverse, was not only practical, helping the government quickly distinguish wartime silver issues from ordinary nickels, but also historic. It marked the dawn of a new tradition in U.S. coinage. For collectors today, this oversized mint mark is one of the features that makes the 1944 P instantly recognizable and highly desirable. The composition of the coin is equally fascinating. Containing 35% silver, 56% copper, and 9% manganese, the 1944 P was unlike any other Jefferson nickel before or since. Its silvery appearance gave it a distinct shine compared to regular nickels. And even after decades, examples in high grade still glow with an unmistakable brilliance. This unique metal blend has made these coins especially intriguing for collectors, who view them as both currency and silver bullion, carrying intrinsic value beyond face worth. Over time, the 1944 P. nickel has developed a reputation not only as a collectible, but also as a potential jackpot. While millions were minted, very few have survived in pristine, uncirculated condition. Those that have, especially those graded at the highest levels by professional coin grading services, can sell for astonishing amounts. And when you add in rare varieties, such as double dyes or other striking errors, the value can soar into territory that seems almost unbelievable. For some lucky owners, a single coin discovered in a forgotten box or handed down through family has become a life-changing treasure. The coin's journey from everyday circulation to prize rarity is part of what makes it so engaging. During the 1940s, these nickels passed through countless hands: farmers, factory workers, shopkeepers, soldiers' families, each transaction carrying with it the weight of wartime necessity. These were coins that bought ration goods, that jingled in the pockets of those saving for war bonds, that crossed the counters of diners and small-town stores. Every 1944, P. nickel has lived a life, and every survivor tells a story. Collectors today see the 1944 P as more than money. They see it as a time capsule. It represents a specific moment in history when the entire nation pulled together, and even coins themselves were drafted into the war effort. Owning one is like holding a fragment of that spirit, a reminder of resilience and unity. And yet, beyond its historical charm, it also carries the power of fortune. The idea that a simple nickel could be worth millions to the right buyer is what transforms this coin into something larger than life. The market for coins like the 1944 P has grown steadily as collectors, investors, and even casual enthusiasts discover their potential. Auctions reveal staggering prices for examples in flawless condition, while stories circulate of rare varieties fetching sums that could instantly change lives. It is this duality, the mix of history and possibility, that makes the 1944 P such a thrilling pursuit. What makes the coin even more special is the sense of hidden potential. For many people, the 1944 P may be sitting unnoticed in a jar of old coins tucked away in an attic or forgotten in a family collection. The idea that this tiny piece of silvered metal could hold the power to make someone a millionaire fuels the excitement. It is a dream of discovery, the thrill of knowing that treasure still exists in the most unexpected places. When viewed in the broader history of American coinage, the 1944 P. Jefferson nickel stands as a symbol of change. It was born of necessity, lived its life as common currency, and now survives as a rare artifact of both economic and wartime history. Its value lies not only in its silver and rarity, but also in its story. A story of a nation at war, of innovation in the face of crisis, and of everyday objects transformed into priceless treasures. In the end, the 1944 P. Jefferson nickel is more than a collectible coin. It is a piece of American history pressed into metal, a link between past sacrifice and present fortune. For those who hold it, it offers more than value. It offers destiny. If you are ever fortunate enough to discover one in pristine condition or with a rare error, remember this. You may be holding the key to a fortune, a coin with the power to change your life overnight.